Hey everyone, I just wanted to come out here and give you a big update. I am going to tell you right now that something pretty big is happening on the 22nd of April. I am going to set up a live stream 7 o'clock, and I'm going to get that organized because yeah, it's a big deal for me in my artistic career, let's say. But I have been planning and working on this for 22, 23 years at this point, and so it's about time it's all done. And yeah, if you haven't guessed, it's going to be Epic of Ryn. I'm going to give you a big update on that. And I did have some other thoughts I wanted to share with you if you had a second. But I wanted to kind of say that things are interesting, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and there's a lot of content out there that is just really piss poor content. And I'm not making that up. I am a part of some writer groups, and some of these groups I listen to them, and I kind of hear what people are asking for in their fantasies and their fictions. And among the stuff they say is, they like a lot of they like the witchcraft and the sorcery, and and they also like sex scenes and stuff like that. And somebody in particular said that they got frustrated with an author because they had romances, but they didn't show the characters in bed. Well, my thoughts on that are, that is not what I want. If you're going to see magic or sorcery in my books, it's probably going to be also alongside with, hey, this is why this is not a good idea. So you see that in the Epic of Ryn, where Ryn talks specifically about sorcery and magic and what that means. But, there's also a lot of fantasy elements, just like C.S. Lewis used some fantasy elements. He also, C.S. Lewis called it the deep magic, the first magic, before the corruption came along. And that's not a bad word for it. But I do have this thought that sometimes in our, I'm not just going to say church or Christians. That is a symptom in churches and among Christians, where we have been restricted to the church, and we sometimes feel that everything now that we watch and we approve of, not watch, but approve of, that's important. Everything that we approve of from other Christians has to be church friendly, which means basically for little kids, right? So it has to be G-rated. And so we can't delve into these really difficult subjects, topics. You can't show the Blockbuster stuff that people like seeing. And unfortunately, we pigeonhole ourselves and we handicap other Christians, and we say that, there's no place in the for content that is high octane, exciting, and deals with real world fantasy stuff. So, but then, and it's not just Christians, it's people of a lot of different faiths, and people that just like content to be more responsible and not go into that stuff, right? But then what happens is they demand that of their circle or their demographic, and then they turn around and they watch stuff that on TV that's secular, like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, and they're okay with that. And then you understand that you're basically just giving all of your content over to people that have none of your values. And so that's really what I had this thought that I'm looking to really replace that. Like, I don't have, I'm not going into this in order to build content that is supposed to be entirely G-rated. But at the same time, it doesn't cross lines. I'm very considerate of what it actually does. So I want you to consider that. The Epic of Ryn is going to be, and is a book, and all my books that I'm publishing hereafter are going to have some high-octane Blockbuster type content that you might see when you look at a primetime television show, or you go to a movie. But that's okay. It's also not going to include pushing agendas that you might not necessarily want to see, or content that you think is entirely destructive and inappropriate. So I hope you guys are with me on that. I hope you're excited to see something like that. And I'll talk more about it on April 22nd.